Dax is the kind of person that makes you sit there, even as a Christian, and go, wait, what? Like,
I'm begging you to see that if you were to just let go, all of the things that you're terrified of and all of the things that bring you pain and all of the things that have been a tragedy in your life will become something beautiful. You let go of that coin and you let God hold on to you, and you will become a different person.
We all hide things in our closet, and this channel is about pulling those things out of the dark and facing them.
what's up guys, it's Pastor Jordan. Today I'm reacting to Dax. His song literally just came out like 2 minutes ago. On my screen it says it only has 4 views, and the song we're reacting to is Book of Revelations. I have been waiting for like a week for this to come out. I'm so excited, but let's just hop right into it.
These pills are meant to help me sleep, but always keep me wide awake.
I can't sleep. I keep thinking about this. What if, with everything that's going on, the world really is coming to an end? Then what?
What if it isn't a lie? What if we make it to heaven and don't get inside? What if we get to the gates and see God on the other side, and He looks us in our face and says our whole lives we've wasted time? What if we can't go back? What if we can't redo this life and get one second chance? What if our future happiness is memories of our past, while we burn forever haunted by the devil's laughs? Why do we push them away? And why do the ones we work to keep never actually stay? Why do we focus on tomorrow and forget about today, and smile in everybody's face and try and act like we're okay? Why do we live this way? Why do we hate? Why do we fight? Why do we act like there's time and got more than one life? Why? Answer me. Why? Why? I'm older and looking for truth. I'm holding my...
I don't know, man, that's so good. Like, it doesn't matter what you believe, right? It doesn't matter. I mean, it matters on this, but the truth of what he's saying, the way that people live. If there's any meaning to your life at all, why do we live the way that we do? Right? And Dax claims to be a Christian. He claims to know God. He claims to believe in Jesus. And even on his last, like, this is coming from the man who was saying, like, I don't know how to believe in a pastor because pastors are child molesters. Like, this is coming from the same man, but he's still saying, like, regardless of people, God is still real. God is still somebody I'm going to get behind. And so he's pointing out things that the Bible points out. He's pointing out things that, you know, we come to an end. We come to the end of our life, and did it really amount to anything? And you may have all the money in the world. You may have all the fans in the world. You may have accomplished so much here, but if there is a heaven or if there is an afterlife, did you really amount to anything? Because none of that can come with you. None of that is going to make an impact on where you go next.
Faith in my hand, but the pain in this world has been shaking it loose. I used to have so much to gain, now I have so much to lose. They say I'm crazy for looking for answers, I say they're crazy for not getting proof. Vision is blurred, I'm over concerned, I'm looking at...
He said they're crazy. I'm crazy for looking for answers, and he says they're crazy for not finding proof. That's true. Like, there's so many people who just believe whatever they're told to believe. There's so many people who are, you know, the songs that I've reacted to, and they just hop on it and they say, see, this is why I'm not a Christian, and it's like you're just hopping on, you're riding the bandwagon. You're not actually thinking for yourself. Dax promotes self-thought, right? He promotes this idea that you're supposed to think for yourself. You're supposed to come to your own conclusion, and if you're not, you're fake. If you're not, don't talk to me. Because people should do their own research. People should do their own homework. People should really come to a point where this matters enough to them that they're going to find out for themselves what they believe. That's what Dax is doing. And it's not wrong for him to say. And if a Christian tells you that it's wrong, that Christian doesn't know God. They don't know what God's really about. It's not wrong to say that the world is shaking my faith. The things that I see every day are shaking the things that I'm supposed to believe about the unseen. Because it's true. Like he says, the world's coming to an end. It is. There's so much tragedy, there's so much brokenness, there's so much ugliness in the world that it's coming to a crescendo. It's coming to this big explosion. It's coming to this big end, this big climax. I don't know how much more there's left, but the question is, what are you living for? What do you ride or die for? What do you care about? Because if it's stuff that doesn't matter, you're wasting your time.
God to see if life with him is something I've earned. The devil's been watching, he's trying to recruit, he's been waiting at every turn. I'm driving this life on the highway to hell, but I won't burn! Fuck! We know the difference. We know what is wrong and we know what is right. But Satan is strong, God, and most of your people are losing the fight. So what if we fail? What if we can't escape his lies? What if we can't change? What if he still controls our minds? Where do we run? Where do we go? Who do we talk to? We look around and everyone we see is lost too. What if life is just some test that we all do? What if you were busy when we called you?
Dax is the kind of person that makes you question everything. Dax is the kind of person that makes you sit there, even as a Christian, and go, wait, what? Like he makes you sit there and think, well, maybe I am just falling off too. Right? Because there's so many Christians who think they have it all together, and they think that they know everything, and they think that they're perfect with God. And Dax is the kind of person that will point out things that most people don't even think about, and makes you question where you're at. And that he says that when all this hype that he's been leading up to the song, he says, I want to start a discussion. This song's for everybody. It's true. But the question really is, all these questions that he's asking, he's saying, you say that we're supposed to, be faithful. You say we're supposed to follow you, God, but what if we can't? What if the devil's just too strong? What if the world has broken us to the point where it's not even possible? What are you supposed to do then? And God has answers for that, right? God talks about it in the Bible. God talks about how we're supposed to live faithfully. We can't be faithful. We can't be who God wants us to be without him intervening in the first place. The only thing that's going to give us the strength to live for God is God himself. But that's the question. That's the deep stuff. That's the stuff you won't even hear in church. Because nobody's willing to talk about it. Nobody's willing to talk about the fact that everywhere we look, it's ugly and dark, and that pastors will say that, but they won't say that genuinely has an effect on how you see the things that are unseen, on how you see God, on how you see grace, on how you see love, on how you see other people. He's saying, who am I supposed to turn to when even in the church, even when I look at Christians, even when I look at your people, they're all falling off too. He says, who do I turn to? Who do I ask for help when everybody else is falling down and everybody else is failing just as much? That's a good question. Why? Why is it, I keep finding, why is it that people who are not part of the church and people who don't claim to be really close to God and don't claim to be like super religious, why do they speak more truth than people who are up there in the church?
Where are your parents?
I'm tired.
Come on, let's go. I got you. What if hell's on earth? What if being born is dying and dying's birth? Would that mean life's not God's gift, but the devil's curse? And to live was to be evil because its words reversed? What if the devil entered a pastor and he led a church? What if we looked for the truth but didn't know where to search? What if the books they said to read have never been your words? What if we chose to follow you but we still had that urge? Will you forgive us for our sins and let us in your world? God, we at the gates. We couldn't see, hear, or touch you, but we had faith. We know we messed up, we human and we make mistakes. So we just begging we get in and that you'll have grace. God, what if we didn't mean it? What if the place we grew up forgot to teach us? What if we never even got the chance to go and seek it?
Yeah, so I think that's so true, because that's another question that I see people asking all the time. Like, we live in a world where there is so much information. There's so much information, almost to the point where it can be bad for us at times. Right? We live in a world where we know what people believe about every single religion, yet we're still no more closer to God. Why? And so this religion, they'll all claim to know the one true God. And we have so much information on every single one. And Dax is asking, why do I still not know for sure? Dax is saying, what are you supposed to do? How are you supposed to take care of me? What's supposed to go on? Am I going to get into heaven if I followed the wrong one? Because I thought it was you and it wasn't? Those are good questions. And the only way that you're going to get an answer to those questions is if you really do the research, if you really do the homework. If you really look into it and you say, all right, God, show me the real you. Show me the one true God. Let me see that. And he'll show it to you. And he'll reveal it to you. And it's not your God is different from my God. There's only one true God. This is one where there's only one right answer. But there's so many people that have the wrong answer. And Dax is saying, what about us? What about the people who followed the wrong one? Or what about the people who never even got a chance to know the real one? What about them? Those are good, deep questions. Those are questions that people want answers to, but those are the questions that the church won't talk about. Those are the questions that hold people back from knowing the real God. But because the church will never say, my real God has answers for that. Instead they say, just have faith, just believe. Don't ask those questions. That's blasphemy. That's ridiculous. God is a big God. If your God is too small to answer somebody's questions, then I don't want any part of that God. If your God is not big enough to answer somebody's questions and to answer somebody like Dax, then I don't want any part of that God.
Then what? Then what?
Dear family, we're in scary times. Nobody has the answers. Just make sure you spread love and believe. My name is Dax.
I don't know, man. That's really good. That's really deep. I love the imagery. I love his videos. I love the way that when Dax really has like a music video coming out, not his like one takes, but like a music video, he goes all out. They always look amazing. And I don't know, man. Dax is so talented. Dax can rap all day long, but Dax can also get extremely deep and make people question. I want to know what you have to think. I want to know what you think about all these things, what you think about God, where you're at. So send me a message on Instagram and let's talk. And make sure that you go check out my music video because it just came out yesterday. And it's my second music video. It's my second song that I've ever written, ever. Dax, if you watch this, I love your stuff, man. Keep it up. Make sure that you leave a like and make sure that you subscribe. Alright, guys.
Back to save us from it fully when that trumpet blares. But you gotta know that this is battle, it's angelic warfare. There's demons trying to take your head, better beware. They wanna bring disgrace to God and leave your purpose impaired. Don't let